Do people see you the way that you see yourself? Hey, everybody, I'm Jason Klaus, and that is the first topic on this week's episode of Klaus to the Heart. No doubt about it, this is probably the heaviest topic that's ever been pitched, and it was pitched by a friend of mine, coworker, and it was one of those things where I, quite honestly, was not sure how to tackle that because I've made no bones about the fact that I am not a professional psychiatrist, a psychologist. I have no degrees in anything. I just have my own opinion and the way that I view things. And, with that being such a loaded topic, you just, there's so many layers to that. And for me, I try to not overcomplicate things because a lot of times things just get so blown out of proportion that it's very difficult to get back to the bottom line. And I'm a bottom line kind of guy. I try to break everything down. So with something of this nature, for me, I guess my opinion would be. It all starts with, are you happy with yourself as a person? When you look in the mirror, are you happy with the person that's looking back at you? If you're not, well, that's square one, right? Because if you are not happy with yourself, how do you expect to be happy for other people? Whether it be a significant other or your most cherished friendships, whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, you have to be happy with yourself, and how you perceive yourself is more often than not how you present yourself. Um, we all, the majority of the people, want to be good people. They want to do the right thing in life. And, at the end of the day, we all know what's right and what's wrong. And, just about every single day we are met with challenges. We are met with crossroads as to which way we're going to handle a particular situation. Are we going to go the right way with it, or are we going to go the wrong way with it? But at the end of the day, I feel like you have to be happy with yourself. That's square one. Now, we are not going to have grand and happy days every single day of our lives. We are going to have bad days. We are going to have days where we're just not feeling it. For somebody who may not know you, or may have heard somebody say unfavorable things about you because they had an unfortunate circumstance or a misunderstanding of some degree. If a person base another one solely on what another individual says about them instead of taking the time to actually try to get to know the person, you're selling yourselves both short on both ends of the spectrum. Um, everybody's got bad days, and if somebody's walking by and they you know, see you having a bad day, whether it be the look on your face or there's not that pep in your step, you're not really, you just have kind of less than stellar aura around you. They may take that as their first impression that you are not a pleasant person. Now, if you are somebody that takes great pride in creating, controversy, anguish, bullying people, just being a real nasty person, then you know your square one is going to take a lot longer to get off of than um, somebody who might just be having a bad day. Because every single day we wake up and we have the option to start brand new. And what happened yesterday is in the past. There's not a thing that we can do to change it. It's done. It's over with. You figure out what mistakes were made and try to go through the new day without repeating the same issues and mistakes and missteps. And, you know, as long as you put in an effort, those people who know you, those people who, you know, they value your friendship or they value you as a person and the fact that you are in it, those are the only ones that ultimately matter. Those who don't take the time to get to know a person and they just form their opinions based on snapshots instead of looking at the whole, you know, at the whole story, you know, weigh the pros and cons here, because at the end of the day, life is too short to be worrying about what other people that have no significant impact on your life, good, bad, or indifferent, their opinions do not matter. All you need to worry about are the ones who know you, who appreciate you, who value you. And if you just worry about those people and you don't worry about what everybody else thinks, says, or whatever the case may be, you're going to find you'll have a lot less turmoil and a lot less questions in your mind, and you can use that energy in a positive way to let the people know who have, you know, shown you that they are on your side, whether you're having a good day or a bad day. Those are the ones that will mean the most, and that should be your focus. That should be who you look at and whose opinions matter. You know, your true friends will tell you if you are being a butthole that day, because that, you know, other than, you know, because if they're just going to BS you, why do you want those kind of people in your life? Because you ultimately, there's no trust there. You know, they're not going to tell you whether it's, you know, if it's bad, it's bad. They're going, oh, that's cool. You know, you don't need that kind of crap. So, at the end of the day, be happy with yourself and focus on the people that you mean something to. So, with that being said, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the show. You just saw kind of a preliminary advertisement for the live show that we're doing in January, and I want to say right out of the gate how appreciative I am for all the tremendous feedback and the support that I've gotten since we made the announcement last week. And it is certainly a very scary endeavor, and it certainly is busting out of my comfort zone with reckless abandon. And but the, you know, the initial feedback has just been absolutely humbling, to say the absolute least. Uh, for the last segment on this week's show, something came across my radar, and it kind of enlisted a series of emotions for me. Now, a couple weeks ago, we talked about friendships and you know, how important they are, how fragile they can be, and recently I was able to reconcile and patch things up with a friend of mine. We had a falling out of sorts, a disagreement. We were able, you know, time, as they say, heals a lot of wounds, and we were able to reconnect and kind of reform that friendship. And this is somebody that I always admired for their spirit and their tenacity and their work ethic, and a very, very much a go-getter in life, in every aspect of his life. He has, anything that he has put any legitimate passion into, or really demonstrated a strong work ethic. I mean, balls of the wall, man. He's always been that go-getter. So I seen the other day, yesterday I think, as a matter of fact, he had posted something on Facebook, and man, it broke my heart. I'd been following his posts, and he was having a extended streak of good luck, and here recently he has fallen on some bad luck, as it were. And he had posted something about being defeated, and I felt bad for him, and then I got pissed about it, and the more I thought about it, the more I thought, man, if anybody needs a pep talk, it's this guy. And no sooner was I kind of collecting my thoughts on what I wanted to say, I saw another post from another friend of mine who is going through some trials and tribulations, as it were, and he said the almost mirror same thing, that he felt that life was beating them at this particular stage. And I was just like, no, that's unacceptable. It's unacceptable, especially for the first friend that I alluded to. Under no circumstances should anybody allow life to beat them down, because I believe that life will throw us challenges, curveballs, roadblocks, simply in an effort to test our resolve and to test how committed we are to something. And it will test who you are as a person. It will test your strength from within and how much shit you're willing to put up with to get to where you want to be. Now, unforeseen circumstances arise all the time. That's just part of life. But we cannot let those unforeseen circumstances dictate who and what you want to be. These circumstances come up because it is life's way of challenging you. It could be something as simple as the road that you were currently on is not the one you are meant to be on. And sometimes these circumstances, they present themselves because perhaps other signs did not materialize the way that they were supposed to. So life will throw you a huge boulder that you have no choice but to try a different route. Perhaps that's what's happening here. Perhaps this is the blessing in disguise. Perhaps this is something that you are meant to be on, that your true happiness is going to be. That's where you need to go. You may not know where it leads to, But for whatever reason, these things are happening because you need to be redirected. You need to hit the reset button. You need to perhaps look at other opportunities that are presenting themselves to you that you could not previously see because you were so focused on what your previous endeavor was and what at the time you thought was the right thing. In one instance, it was a matter of a case of this individual. He wrote that he had to be somebody that he truly was not, somebody that was more or less bullied, or somebody who was talked down upon, somebody who was made to feel like they had to virtually drop down to their knees and grovel for their jobs. To that I say, piss on that. No job is worth sacrificing your self-respect for and altering who you are as a person. Under no circumstances should anybody wield that kind of power over anybody else. See, at the end of the day, we are individuals, we are people, we all have feelings. In the case of a job, in the case that your career may not be going the way that you thought it should, or that the path you thought you were on was the right one, under no circumstances should those people who hold a higher position in terms of management, under no circumstances should they belittle anybody that they depend on to get the job done. That is unacceptable. That is bully. And I've made no bones about the fact that bullies are the weakest form of people in existence. You do not need to sacrifice your self-respect. You do not need to sacrifice who you are as a person for anything or anybody along those lines. You are better than that. You are worth more than that. It's time to pick your ass up. It's time to knock off the dust. And it's time to open your eyes and see what else is out there. See what else is awaiting you. There might be a door of opportunity that's open for you. You just haven't seen it yet. But when you do, you're going to know you're on the right path. You're going to know from the inside. You will feel it. Before that time comes, you may have to settle for something on a temporary basis. Sometimes we have to take the lumps. We have to take the good with the bad. But at the end of the day, we have obligations. And we have to do what we have to fulfill those obligations. But your path to where you're supposed to be is awaiting you. It's just a matter of how and when you step up to the starting line. I believe in you. And I believe that you are worth a lot more than what you've been, shown in the last however long. Get up, pick your head up, and start moving forward. With that being said, I thank you so much for watching this week's episode of the show, and we will see you next week right here on YouTube.com.